Good morning. I'm at one of the most famous places in Texas now as a business. It's called Buc-ee's. They have like 140 gas pumps and a ton of activity, great clean bathrooms. And I'm north of Temple, Texas. Hey, I'm on my way. I got up early. I'm on my way to a very special anniversary for a couple in our church body, and can't talk about it because it's a surprise for them. But I wanted to give you a devotion because we want to stay in the Word every day, whether we're on the road or we're at home. And my Bible passage today that comes from one of my favorite books in the New Testament, Titus, the book of Titus, which Paul wrote to him while he was on the island of Crete. Titus is like a rubber meets the road Christianity book. Paul is telling Titus how to lead these people who've had really very poor upbringings. They're from broken families and broken homes. They're from a wild sailor kind of environment. And Paul says, hey, we brought the gospel there. I left you there, Titus, to help them as a pastor. So teach them how the gospel works in their everyday life. This brings up chapter 2, verse 11 to 14. You want to see a pure gold nugget out of the Bible? Learn that passage, Titus chapter 2, 11 to 14. I'm going to paraphrase it for you because I'm out here. It says, the grace of God has appeared to all people, and it teaches us to say no to ungodliness and wild living. God redeemed us as his own people and purified us from all sins for us to live a godly life, a life that's good for other people, a life that's pure and blessed for other people. We as Christians in the Lutheran Church often get a little bit lopsided. Everybody in life has a temptation to get lopsided. We tend to focus so much of grace to cover our sins over, we forget that it's that same grace that replaces our old way of living with a new, loving, giving, caring, generous, holy life. And what Paul says to Titus is teach the people on the island of Crete that have learned this beautiful gospel, that they're saved from their sins. Now teach them that it's also for the gospel is also for training them in righteousness. And that's what Titus 2, 11 to 14 talks about. He saved us from sin and death and an aimless, empty, sad, angry, frustrated, selfish, self-indulgent life. Saved us from that, so that he would save us for the rest of our lives. We'd be a blessing on earth. We'd be a blessing and be the opposite of what we were before grace found us. So remember the from and the for of grace. It saved you from your sins so that you could live for God and serving others and be a blessing. And look into Titus and you'll see all the many details of what it means to live a life that is a blessing to others. That is the blessed life. To look at your life and you're not perfect, but if you can look at your life and say, I know I'm a blessing, even though I'm not perfect, by God's grace, I'm a blessing, then you'll be happy. God will be happy too.